Peter Mathews is a professor of political science at Cypress Hill College. He joins us from Long Beach, California. Now, thank you for your time, sir, first of all. Now, after lots of speculation, it is confirmed John Kelly will be leaving his position. Trump says he can't describe his departure as retirement. So, has he been fired?
Well, one can look at it either way, but the main point is that there are so many generals in this president's administration, more generals than any modern president in history, and yet only one general is left, General Mathews. So General Kelly has to leave. I mean, I'm sure Trump had something to do with it. He was the one who was in charge. So yes, I believe that General Kelly was probably asked to leave. Probably Kelly also didn't want to stay much longer because he had real problems being able to work with President Trump, and keeping the White House in order. There was a lot of problems in there at the time.
So what is the main issue that brought the two apart?
Differences in, well, first of all, President Trump brought in Kelly a year and a half ago in July 2017 in order to bring stability in the White House, to keep only people seeing the president, to allow only certain people to see the president for appointments and for discussion. And yet President Trump was used to a much more freewheeling type of atmosphere, having people walking into his office and leaving and new people coming in, outside people coming in. Kelly tried to bring some sort of organization and order, and Trump thought this would work better, and he needed it. A lot of people thought he needed it, and yet Trump didn't seem to like that kind of organization. And furthermore, they had differences in personality. Trump is more freewheeling and more spontaneous and on the spur of the moment, and Kelly's much more organized and methodical. So that was also a problem there. And I believe there was some policy differences as well on certain key issues that came up.
Now, who is likely to replace John Kelly? Now, he will become Trump's third chief of staff.
It's amazing. Third chief of staff in less than 2 years. The person that's most talked about is Nick Ayers, who is the vice president's chief of staff at present. But he wants to go home to Georgia with his family, his young family, and be with his children in a few months. President Trump wants a long-term replacement, so he probably wouldn't be able to take Ayers unless he's willing to keep him just for a few months, or if Ayers changes his mind. Otherwise, people like Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, and Mick Mulvaney, the Office Budget Director, might be able to be brought in. So there's a lot of speculation. There could be some backups to be brought in. But whoever's coming in is facing a very perilous situation. You've got an election coming up in 2 years, a re-election of the president, and he's facing investigations by the special counsel, Robert Mueller. He's facing a lot of other situations that are tight because the Democratic Party has taken over the House now, and they're going to continue investigating even further. Much more adversarial relationship at this time that the new chief of staff would be facing to try to help the president get organized and stay stable.
Peter Mathews, professor of political science at Cypress College, thanks so much for this analysis for us, sir.